What do you do when you only have an hour and a half time slot in your day that you want to fill, but it's not really long enough to do a full foil? This is the perfect service for you guys. Really, you can get somebody in and out in an hour and a half, and the majority of the foils are around the hairline. We only did about 7 foils throughout the crown. This is super easy. I think you guys are going to like this, so pay attention. We're going to use Schwarzkopf Balmy with 20 volume and Olaplex for this service. And we chopped her hair off. I literally pressed record, I thought, and guess what? I didn't. So we did chop off a good probably like 6 inches or so. We're sitting right about the collarbone, and I feel like this is just a nice length that people are going to right now. So sorry that I forgot to record that, but my intention was there. We're going to be doing our standard foil around her hairline. And I'm going to do, instead of just 2 or 3 foils like I normally do for a partial, I'm going to do 4 foils, just some standard weaves, because we're only doing about 2 shades lighter than her natural color. She wanted to be like a light brown, dark blonde color. So I feel like if I just did like 2, 3 foils, then she probably wouldn't notice it enough. So I threw an extra foil in there just to give her a little bit more dimension and color around her face. And the further back that I went away from her face, the heavier of a foil I did. We're going to repeat the same thing on this side, and you can see how close I'm coming up a little bit better than the other side that I am on this first foil. I am doing a much finer weave. You saw on the other foil, the very last one I did was kind of a thicker, chunkier weave. This one is more of like a softer baby light, and the reason why I like to do it softer directly on the hairline, the first 1 or 2 foils that I do, is because I want this to grow out a little bit softer, and if I do too heavy of a weave, then you're gonna see the grow out line a little bit more. So the first 2 foils that I do are much softer of a foil, and then these last 2 foils I do are going to be a little bit more of just a standard weave. So that way she has a little bit more brightness, but it's not directly on her face, so the grow out will be nice and easy. She does part her hair a little bit further on the side, so you can see that I'm trying to grab and section her hair beyond her part, because I want to make sure that when her hair is down, that the foil is extending over to the side a little further back to make sure that she has good coverage. If I just stayed up where her forehead is, then she wouldn't really see the money piece on this side. Because she parts her hair further on the side, I need to grab this a little further back and foil a little bit more down the side of her head. Like you can see right there, normally you wouldn't go that far over for a money piece, but again, because she does part her hair a little bit more on the side, we do need to go a little bit further back into this section to make sure that we have good coverage. Again, we're just doing 2 foils right here at the top of her forehead, and we're making sure that we have good connection all the way around her hairline. That way, when she pulls her hair back, she's gonna have even brightness all the way around. You don't want to have the sides of her forehead not have connection to the side foils, because then she's gonna have like these dark sections at the edge of her forehead where it doesn't have any like highlights or anything. And that's when a lot of people come in saying that they feel like they have like dark holes on the side of their head because they didn't have connection all the way around their hairline. So make sure when you do these foils that you're not just going straight down the mohawk, because that's usually what causes not to have connection on the sides. So wherever they part their hair, go from like the center of the forehead out to the sides on either side, and that will make sure that you have even connection all the way around the hairline. We're just going to do 2 of those foils on either side, and then we're going to connect it in the center right here with these little foils, just a small weave to connect these 2 foils in the center. You can see over on the side where she parts her hair that even though we're doing essentially like 2 foils back of a weave, this isn't really going to be as strong and bold as you might think it was if she were to part her hair down the center. So because her hair is on the side, all that hair is going to fall on top of it to soften up that money piece. So it's not going to be too bold. I just want to make sure that we kind of get that connection in there though. So for these foils, we're going to do just a standard weave and back comb them pretty good, because we want to push enough hair up there to create a little bit of a cushion. That way when everything's combed out, she's going to have a little bit softer of a root shadow naturally without having to go and apply one. That back comb is going to create that little bit of a cushion that will create its own natural shadow. So again, we're just going to go through and do some really fine strands. It's kind of like strand lights. Have you guys heard that term? Who is it? I can't remember who it was that coined that term, strand lights, where you're just picking up like little fine pieces of hair and doing little foils. We're not going in heavy-handed. Again, she wants her hair to be like more natural, sun-kissed looking, just a little bit of little teensy highlights going through, nothing too heavy and bright. So just picking up like a really small weave. You can see a little bit better on this side, and then we're gonna back comb it, and this is gonna just show through like she's just having little strands going through her hair, just teeny little highlights, which I think is perfect again for somebody that just wants to get in and out. You're not like doing all this foiling and making her a blonde or whatever. She's still gonna read as her natural color with just some really soft, subtle highlights in her hair. If you've been able to see her hair before I started sectioning it, and how she just had like really fine little highlights already through like the bottom half of her hair. This essentially is the same service that we did a whole year ago, and you can see how nice and easy it grew out. So that's about the same thing that this is going to happen, as her hair grows out this time. She's just going to have really fine, subtle highlights, and she's going to be able to go a long time without feeling like she needs to come in anytime soon if she chooses to go another year again. But you can see, when, I don't know if you need to like back up, or when I show the before again at the end of the video, you'll be able to see those little highlights that have grown out like 6 months or 6 inches down into her hair. Just some super fine little highlights. So this is great for somebody that is super low maintenance. On these top foils that I'm doing right here, these last 2, I am getting less and less hair. That's because these are going to be right on the top, closer to where she parts her hair. And I want to make sure that these are super fine highlights, nothing that's going to be too heavy that will cause any line of demarcation. So I am going to do even less of a baby light than what I did on the weaves on the side of the head. Again, we're still back combing, and then we're going to finish it with just one little foil in the very back, and that will be all. Super easy foil. Literally, this whole service only took like an hour and a half. Throwing in these foils was super quick, again, because she didn't want it to be super bright blonde or anything. We didn't even have to lighten super much. She only sat for maybe like 15 minutes and then she was done processing. If you guys need to like speed the processing up, just use like the blow dryer on them and then put a towel over the top of the head, and that will insulate the heat a little bit more to help it process a little bit faster if you're kind of scrunched for time. But she didn't have to she literally only processed like 15 minutes, lifted her to like a nice level 8, and then we toned her, and super simple and easy. So anyways, this is the finished application. Now we're gonna tone. I did half 9NB and half 7NB of Paul Mitchell the Demi to create a nice level caramely, soft, neutral level 8, and that's going to process for 10 minutes. And you can see those pretty, like, it's just a really pretty soft sandy color. I really like this toner. I haven't ever used this, like the level 7 before, but I think this is a really good option for somebody that just wants like a really soft natural highlight, just kind of more of a sandy beige tone, not too warm and caramely. It's just kind of like a cooler caramely tone. So here's the after blow drying. Look at those cute little strands. This is going to be perfect to like just grow out nice and easy. Look how pretty that is around the face. Not too bright or anything. And she's going to be able to go a whole other year. So anyways, I'm really happy with the way that this color turned out. And she was too. I hope you guys like this video. I know a lot of you guys aren't always down for like the styling. So I just throw a few little clips in there of how I style my clients' hair. And that is the Jay-Z curling iron that I got. If you guys follow her here on YouTube and Instagram, Jay-Z Styles, I think it's called the Jagger. I love that curling iron because it has like a longer barrel to it. So here's her before. Again, that's her grow out from a year ago, really soft and low maintenance. And then here is the after. Look at those just super teensy little soft foils. Again, from that back comb, it even is more subtle because of back combing it. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. If you want, you can follow me on Instagram at Modern Blonde by Christy, and I will see you guys next time.